Good evening, everyone. Thought I'd just give a quick sort of update on, sort of review on the Omnipod and how I'm kind of getting on with it, and what I've been doing over the past few days, which is pretty sort of effective to treating my diabetes. So obviously, I've been making big adjustments to basal dose at the moment. Obviously, when you're on an insulin pump, such as the Omnipod or any other insulin pump, you can manipulate your basal dose for different parts of the day. And I think the past few days I've been really digging down on average glucose and sort of like graphs for each day and graphs over the past few weeks and few months. And I've been looking at where the peaks are, where the highs are coming from, and where the lows are coming from as well. I am very, very prone to hypos, no matter how good control I've got. I kind of very, very sort of prone to having hypos for sometimes no reason. I think it's literally to do with the basal rate that I'm on. I think that's why the pump's working really well for me. So the past few days the past few weeks even, I've had hypos regularly, sort of late afternoon between 4 and 7 p.m. and sort of it's been quite difficult because that's like peak time at work. It's like coming to the end of the day, and I might even be driving home during that period, so it's really awkward. So what I've done is I've looked at the graph for the past 3 weeks on Libra View, which shows me an average over the past sort of few weeks or few months. So I can set it for 3 months if I like, and the trend is consistent there that I'm continuously going hypo between the hours of 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. Now I'm not quite sure at this point whether that's the bolus from dinner time lingering on, or whether I'm getting too much basal. But actually, since going onto an insulin pump such as the Omnipod, I've realised that obviously when you treat a hypo when you're on an insulin pump, you don't need to retreat the hypo or have any carbs. So usually when you're on pens, you have fast acting carbs such as sweets or dextro tablets, and then 20 minutes later you have some sort of more long acting carbs. And you shouldn't have to do that on a pump. And between the hours of sort of 3 and 7 p.m, I've treated the hypo, and then it's come back later on. It kind of indicates to me that it's probably the basal rate. So today I reduced it to 0.4 units per hour between 3 and 5, just to see if that counteracted the low blood sugars. And I still got hypo between 3 and 5, and then a hypo between 5 and 7 as well. So I need to possibly reduce the basal rate at that particular time as well, probably between 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. The point being here is that since going onto an insulin pump, it's kind of transformed the way I manage my diabetes, particularly the Omnipod. Well, I've never used another insulin pump. I'm sure they're all pretty much the same, to be fair. Each have the disadvantages and advantages, but the Omnipod's actually really fantastic in terms of usability and being able to manipulate your basal rates throughout the day. So particularly what I've done today, and it's worked wonders. So I've been, for the past sort of 4 days, I've been sort of like 90% in target, which is absolutely incredible for me. And today, last night, what I did as a review, I went on to Libra View. And if you haven't seen what Libra View is, my previous blog post was all about what Libra View is. If you're on the Freestyle Libra, it's incredible. So I've looked at the graphs on Libra View. I've noticed that during the morning time, between sort of 7 a.m. and 11 a.m, I get a rise in blood sugar. So my blood sugar goes higher. So that indicated, and I don't eat breakfast or take any bolus in the morning as a result. So I know that is literally my basal rate there. So I increased that to an extra sort of 0.2 units an hour. And that worked wonders this morning. I had no high blood sugar this morning. So I know that definitely has worked out for me. And then obviously, what I've just talked about for the past few minutes, between 3 and 5 p.m, I knocked down my basal rate to 0.4 units an hour, which is quite a low amount for me, but it didn't work. So I think I do need to go back and look at that again tomorrow. I'll give it a few days though, I think the important thing is when you're using an insulin pump to reduce certain periods of basal rates, you have to give it a few days to develop some sort of trends. That's very, very crucial in terms of making sure that, you know, I could have had a more active day today and that's caused the hypo. It's probably unlikely. I probably do need even less basal than what I've given myself today. But I think the fact that you can you sort of review specific times of the day in terms of your basal rate, linked up with the Freestyle Libre, or I've got the Meow Meow as well, so that's giving me a CGM essentially, which is incredible because I can literally see what's going on minute by minute. But linked with the Freestyle Libre, an insulin pump is incredible. It's so powerful in terms of being able to control your diabetes correctly. So kind of what I'm going to say is that, you know, your pen's great, and I think a lot of people are sort of shy to the pump, and I was originally. I've never had any interest in an insulin pump for many years. I've been diabetic for, you know, sort of coming up to sort of 26, 27 years, I think, and, you know, kind of never really had any interest in a pump. It was suggested to me when I was younger, and I always just thought, no, I'm not interested. I'm happy on the pens and I'm doing well. I'm doing reasonably okay. But since going on to it, it's transformed my ability to control, particularly the basal. I never got on with basal rates when I was on pens because you just inject and then that's it for the 24-hour period. You can't adjust it once you've injected. And for me, I definitely need different basal rates at different parts of the day. If I just actually show you the basal program that I'm on at the moment, it's actually a bit crazy. So you can see kind of the graph there. So that's over a 24-hour period. You can see how much it dips and then rises again, and then rises slightly. So obviously the left of the screen's overnight, and then you've got the daytime here, and then the evening time here. You can see how much it differs. So it dips in the morning and rises again, and then it goes way high between 12 and sort of 2, and then it dips right down, and then climbs again in the evening. So it's obviously, now you can view that as a list as well. So you can see the specific basal program that I'm on at the moment, and it's all work in progress. The important thing to know about diabetes is that just because this basal program is working for me over the past few days and possibly for the past next week or two, doesn't mean that that's it. The important thing about diabetes is that you constantly adjust, and you're never under perfect control, because you might have 2 or 3 weeks or possibly months where you have stable blood sugars, you have fantastic HbA1c, and you'll feel on top of the world, and you know, you think, yeah, I've cracked this. But you never really crack diabetes. It's up and down roller coaster. It could be the slightest thing that changes your insulin sensitivity. So for example, you might sort of start going shopping on a Wednesday afternoon, and then all of a sudden, bam, hypos later on at night, and that can affect not only when you go hypo, obviously it can also lead to a high blood sugar. So that can affect your overall average glucose, and also your mood and your temperament, and how you generally feel about your diabetes. You think you've got it under control, and all of a sudden, boom, loads of hypos and high blood sugars. It could be something as simple as a temperature change. You know, it could turn into spring, summertime, and your insulin sensitivity changes again. Or it could be something, you know, you had a drink over the past couple of nights, and then all of a sudden, boom, complete change. Or it could just be nothing. It could be completely inexplainable. So even on an insulin pump, it's not always a case of, you know, yeah, I've got this under control, I've got my perfect basal program now, I'm never going to falter from that. You always will, but I think with the insulin pump, it's not for everyone, obviously, but specifically for me, I definitely know that I need different rates of basal insulin over the 24-hour period, and I think for me to be able to program specific hours of the day to different types of day as well, is crucial, such as when I went at the weekend, I went out on a bike ride. I used to do a lot of cycling. Don't do as much anymore because it's a time consuming sport, cycling, and I just don't have the time for it with the job that I've got, and I've got 4 young kids, and I'm doing a degree in physics part-time at the Open University, so obviously I've got a lot on my plate at the moment. So I tend to do more running than cycling because you can just pop out the door, half an hour run. It's quite beneficial. But I did go cycling on Saturday afternoon, and I managed to completely sort of reduce my basal by 80% an hour before the ride and during the ride. And I did have some complications. I started some hypos after the ride, but it was quite a successful sort of mission despite the hypos. I think next time I'll just suspend my insulin completely while I'm bike riding, because I just don't think I need it. I don't think I need any basal while I'm bike riding, because it's quite an active, sort of really taxing sport. But the fact that I can reduce my insulin or suspend it completely during exercise is an incredible thing as well. So I think, to sum up, the insulin pump and the Omnipod in particular, because that's the device that I'm on, it's absolutely incredible. It's changed my life completely. Just like the Freestyle Libre has and the Meow Meow device. I think technology is actually incredible these days, and it's really changed people's lives, particularly people with type 1 diabetes. Because it's, you imagine going back to the days of using vials of insulin with syringes and not even know how much you were taking, and having to take blood tests, which are just snapshots of your blood sugar, and somehow form a pattern from your handwritten log diary. Kind of miss doing log diaries, but at the same time, I really like looking at the graphs and the data and analysing it and kind of seeing what's going on. But the insulin pump and the Omnipod in general is absolutely fantastic, and I couldn't recommend anything better than getting better control. In terms of using it, the actual pod, I've had it on various locations on my arm. So that's on the very outer of my arm. I've only knocked it off once. I knocked it off a few days ago because I really slammed it into a door frame. And that was the first time I've done it after, 6 months. I've had it on the side of my arm, I've had it on the front of my arm, I've had it on the inside of my arm and sort of the back of my arm there. I've had it on my belly, which I didn't really like. Kind of felt really uncomfortable in the belly, but some people swear by that. You put it anywhere. The adhesive material that keeps it on is really, really strong. It's absolutely, undefeatable mostly. And you change it every 3 days, which you might feel like is a short time, sorry. But considering I used to take 6 to 8 needles a day, every 3 days is nothing. And it's really, you don't really notice changing it. It takes 5 minutes once you're used to it, if that. So the Omnipod's incredible, and the insulin pump in general is incredible. I'd recommend it to anybody. I just thought I'd do a quick sort of update on that because I was feeling good about it, and I wanted to share with people how I was sort of getting on with it, and the fact that you can manipulate your insulin hourly across a 24-hour period based on what you're seeing from your Libre device. So yeah, thanks for watching, and my next video is going to be on carbohydrate counting. I think it's a crucial part of being diabetic these days. Never was when I was first diagnosed. When I was diagnosed, it was just 2 injections a day. It was a mixed insulin, so long acting and short acting together. I took 2 a day, and I just ate what I wanted. Carb counting is still, to be honest, to me, is still fairly new in a way. Only for the past sort of 5-6 years have I done it, since I went on multiple daily injections rather than 2 Mixitard, if anyone remembers that, insulin pens a day. It seems crazy to me now, that. But carb counting nowadays is absolutely crucial to managing type 1 diabetes. So I'm going to be doing a video on that because I feel like I've sort of got that to hand. I don't really have any problems with bolus insulin at all. I tend to do my bolus doses really accurately. So I'll do a detailed blog on how to carb count and what to look out for, do's and don'ts and stuff like that. So I will see you in a few days when I put that video on. Thank you for watching.